Is your community prepared for an oil spill? It's important for communities to get involved with the spill response planning before a spill happens, because even small spills can cause a lot of damage. Defenders of Wildlife and our partners created the Alaska Wildlife and Coast Portal to help empower communities who may be on the front lines of oil spills. All spills are unique and different. Each requires a targeted response. This is especially true in Alaska, where environmental conditions change drastically from region to region and season to season. Remember, your personal safety is always the top priority in spill response. Similar to organized community response, the oil spill response framework in the United States is the Incident Command System. It is a highly structured system with defined roles and responsibilities that relies on response plans that are thoughtfully created prior to spill response. The ICS structure was developed to maximize efficiency during emergency response, and the response structure is designed to be scaled for each incident. So the larger a spill is, the more structured a response becomes due to the increased layers of complexity. Due to this nature, it's important that community members are involved early in the collaborative problem-solving planning processes. Alaska is divided into 4 areas with their own unique committees and area contingency plans. The 4 areas are Arctic and Western Alaska, Prince William Sound, Southeast Alaska, and Inland Alaska. Area contingency plans are used by all responders engaged in oil and hazardous material spill response within a defined geographic area. They ensure that all responders have access to essential area-specific information and promotes interagency coordination to improve the effectiveness of responses. The primary agency responders in Alaska are the U.S. Coast Guard, which is designated as the lead federal agency for coastal zones and certain major inland water bodies, the Environmental Protection Agency, which is designated as the federal lead for inland zones, and Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation, which is the lead state agency throughout Alaska. Supporting agencies include the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, U.S. Department of the Interior, and others. Various oil spill response organizations from the private sector are usually contracted to respond to incidents. Area committees and subcommittees are planning groups that directly affect how information is transmitted into the larger response plans and how responders receive information from communities before and during a spill response. Anyone who is interested is welcome to participate in the meetings. It is common for individuals from local or tribal governments, Alaska Native corporations, and nonprofits to participate in area committees and subcommittees. Participating in these area committee and subcommittee meetings provides opportunities to contribute your knowledge, participate in drills, attend occasional trainings, and other activities. Geographic response strategies are oil spill response strategies tailored to protect a specific sensitive area from impacts following a spill. These response strategies can save time during the critical first few hours of an oil spill response. On a map, they show responders where sensitive areas are located and how to protect them. Public involvement is essential to ensure sites selected and the strategies developed reflect the environmental protection priorities of local communities. You and other community residents are encouraged to engage in GRS subcommittees to share your local knowledge and expertise with state and federal response agencies. To contribute to a strategy in your community, contact the area planner at ADEC to be directed to the subcommittee in your area. You can also find their contact information and details on upcoming area committee meetings. During a spill response, one of the most direct ways for a community to coordinate with the responders is through their local community or tribal liaison officer. This person holds a position within the Incident Command System. The liaison officer is responsible for communicating and coordinating with stakeholders and for bringing stakeholder concerns to the incident commanders. Subsistence user concerns, including marking of a rehabilitated and released oiled wildlife, can be coordinated through the liaison officer. The liaison officer is there to listen to and convey community needs, questions, and concerns during a spill response. A small spill response may not have a formal liaison officer role, but community members should feel free to coordinate with the response agencies if there is no designated liaison. One of the best resources a liaison officer can have is the Small Community Emergency Response Plans for their community. While SCRPs are not incorporated into the area contingency plans, they are incredibly useful in the event of any emergency in a community. A SCRP is a quick reference guide for use before, during, and after an emergency or disaster. The SCRP contains checklists for critical actions at the local level, customized for and by your community. The SCRP contains important resource information, including local, regional, state, and federal contact information. A SCRP should be updated annually, and a list of personnel in the community who are trained in emergency response or have other important resources can be important points of contact during a spill response. If your community is in need of creating or updating your SCRP, there is a designated SCRP coordinator at the Alaska DHS and Emergency Management who will work with you to navigate the entire process and produce a valuable plan that addresses all hazards. If there are tank farms, refineries, or other large facilities in your community, it is very important that they all have up-to-date oil discharge prevention and contingency plans and facility response plans that the employees are familiar with, and that the employees have been trained to use the response plans and be safe in the event of a spill. These plans are available for public comment when creating new plans and for renewals or amendments. It is also important to maintain facilities to prevent a spill from happening in the first place. Prevention measures are more affordable than the cost of cleaning up a spill. The U.S. Coast Guard can assist with prevention measures. If a facility, vessel, or infrastructure owned by a community has a spill, such as a tank farm, pipeline, or boat, the community itself could be the responsible party. This role is especially important because it means that they will be billed for all cleanup expenses and will have a larger role in the cleanup response. Response agencies, such as the U.S. Coast Guard, will provide oversight and compliance assistance to help make sure federal legal requirements are met. HAZWOPER training is the most common and necessary certification for a person who may be exposed to hazardous chemicals through their work or a spill response incident. Exposure can cause a variety of health and safety risks. There are multiple levels of HAZWOPER training, and certifications must be refreshed every year. If an individual community member wants to help clean up oil during a spill response, they will need to have this training, or else they must keep a safe distance from the spill. Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation staff are always available to discuss opportunities and concerns with members of the public. Feel free to reach out at any time. Of course, not everyone needs formal spill response training. One of the most useful and important things everyone should know how to do is report any oil or chemical spill on first sight. To report a spill, call 800-424-8802, the National Response Center hotline. It is important to note the location, date, and time, and to always keep a safe distance. Spills must also be reported to the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation, 1-800-478-9300. Lastly, if a spill occurs in your area, you can help by reporting observations on wildlife-related concerns to the NRC hotline. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Spill Response Team has created an Alaska Spill Response Wildlife ID aid that can help you record what you see. You can request a Wildlife ID booklet from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service at 907-242-6893 or FWS AK Spill Response at fws.gov. Remember, the best way for communities to protect themselves and advocate for the habitats and areas they love most is to get involved early, collaborate on response plans, and be prepared before a spill happens. Check out the Alaska Wildlife and Coast Interactive Portal to explore oil spill scenarios and find more information and links to resources mentioned in this video. These actions will help protect the priceless habitats and wildlife throughout Alaska and in your backyard.